for Missouri State, if you're really going to prove to us that you're a team that maybe should have had a better record this season, you have to beat teams like Nebraska. Nebraska isn't just going to roll over for you here.
You're absolutely right. And this is where we get started off. Missouri in the blue, Nebraska in the orange. As kickoff has already begun here, Manfield night. And these teams definitely, again, we talked about it, or the desk talked about their records. And both teams kind of have, I guess the word would be explainable records. You know, you understand everything that they've been through so far, but this is really one of the few times where they come kind of head-to-head in a matchup here. And it's going to be very telling to see who comes out on top, as that was a good shot from Sarge. Ochio getting the save.
Yeah, top shelf shot. Ochio had to come through and make the save, and this ball bouncing dangerously on the Nebraska side. Both teams have had an opportunity. 2 shots for Missouri, 1 shot for Nebraska. Nebraska here again trying to set something up as Chanos makes his way down the sideline.
And pressure coming out now, too. You see Missouri State on the back end. Chanos puts that one low. But Pero in a solid spot. Still, though, unable to get a clear out. As Missouri State still stuck on their own half. It's been a nice start. Chanos gets there with a lot of speed, but unable to really do anything.
Still Nebraska keeping some good pressure on here. At least spending time in this Missouri State half. But here comes Shandy. Is that shot too high? It's going to go off the crossbar. Can he put it away? Oh, look at the save from Sarge. Just when you thought it was going in, he goes in and out to make the save, and a spoiled chance for Shandy.
That's really good work from Sarge. A very solid read. Pretty much has no time to waste there. And able to get the stop to clear the ball out, relieve some pressure. Missouri State tried to put it back in, but this one's going across off the backboard. Sarge plays it up again, straight down. Shandy will be able to get a clear. Is this going to be resulting in a goal? Demo comes out. Ball in front of the box, but no one able to take advantage of it on the blue side, and this one is still going to be 0-0.
And if this game is a 1-goal margin in favor of Nebraska, you're going to think back to that chance from Shandy, where he just couldn't put it away, put it too high. Of course, hit the crossbar. That one's just wide for Aggro. Paro has to clear this one away himself.
Oh, the shot from Ochio just in. Goes off the bar. Missouri on the board first.
And who was this from Nebraska up for it? Chanos just doesn't make contact. He had Ochio beat if he had made it there, or at least got contact on it, but he didn't. And it comes right off of Ochio into the back of the net, and Missouri State up by 1.
Now Missouri State here with the pressure, but that's going to be a long clear. Who's getting there first? Can Chanos put the shot in? He can, and they bring it right back to Corelli.
A lot of players around Chanos as he moves downfield here. Shandy trying to make his way back as fast as he can. Can't get the lineup as it comes down, and of course he was a bit panicked getting back, but unfortunately for him, Chanos is right there, and Nebraska respond back immediately.
So with that quick response, Nebraska make the statement known. Sure, you could get aggressive here, but we will punish you for it. So now Missouri's going to have to be a little bit careful. Meanwhile, Chanos, another one. The speed pays off big time.
And I like this from Chanos, just kind of watching to see how this ball pops out, sees it, pinches out across the box. He knows he can beat that first man. He just has to put it on target to force a tough save, and it drops in for him. Nebraska up by 1.
And here we go. Nebraska, especially looking at Chanos here, finding his shot. And that could spell some danger for Missouri State as that ball plays out. Pero plays it off to the side. Missouri State looking for a way in, but Nebraska not making it easy for him.
Nebraska definitely taking it to Missouri State. I think, at least from what we've seen here in this first game, you feel like these teams are definitely evenly matched when it comes to that offensive firepower. You're seeing Nebraska really take advantage of some breakaway chances. Here's Paro. Tried to pass it across. Nobody was there. Shandy went for the bump on Chanos.
Oh,
and now Ochio, he's in a 2v1. And a shot from Chanos right side, and it slides in for Nebraska up by 2.
Chanos is popping off, but look at Argo here. The hesitation into the touch forces Ochio to pop it up, and Chanos, oh, he was waiting for it, hopped on it immediately, and the way he's shooting, you don't want to give him an open shot. He is lighting things up here in game 1 for Nebraska.
The man is 3 for 5, 3 goals, 5 shots for Chanos. And so far, so good. All 3 assists coming from Acro as well. Maybe another one here. Chanos going to get around to it. He was there, but stopped up by the Missouri defense. And now you're starting to see Nebraska really get a foothold in this game. It feels like they're playing faster than Missouri State at the moment. And you're seeing their offense is better for it as they come again. Here's Sarge shot as didn't have enough power on it, and Paro able to clear it away.
Looked like Sarge was looking for that soft touch, wanted to be able to throw off the last defender. Missouri State keeping calm as they try to push downfield, maybe see if they can score some time left on the clock here as the ball bounces out. Ochio tries to get around Agro, but will not be able to. And here's Chanos. Good 50. Ball plays into the corner. But at this point, clock is running down here, ticking down. Final 10 seconds of the game. Missouri State tried to do what they could here on offense to open things up, but they have absolutely been stunned by Chanos and the rest of Nebraska here in game 1 as they have lit things up. Looking for one more goal, too.
They might get it.
Almost off target, but I mean, what a showing here for Nebraska.
A great showing from Nebraska. Chanos really got going, able to capitalize on some chances. I'm not quite sure if Nebraska are going to get the same amount of chances here in this game, because you think back, especially in I think the second or third goal there, Chanos was able just to take advantage of the ball pinching across the net, and Missouri State just weren't set for it. But with that being said, it does feel like Nebraska's offense definitely a lot more dangerous than Missouri State right now, and it feels like Missouri State needs to start adapting to this Nebraska team, because if they're kind of behind the ball throughout this game, and it doesn't feel like Missouri State were able to get a foothold where they had intention behind it. There was nothing that Missouri State that showed, okay, this team is in control. It was kind of below water for most of the game.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of success on offense. They were limited to 1 goal here. Missouri State are going to need to bounce back, but, you know, plenty of time as things tick down. It wasn't a devastating loss as well. Just definitely something I think that caught at least everybody on the desk off guard. They really expected Missouri to come out swinging here in Nebraska. Just completely lit things up with the amount of goals Chanos was able to score. Let's see if Chanos can output those same amount of shots on offense, because that's going to be a big deal, as, you know, having your offense kind of rest on one-man shooting accuracy kind of puts a lot of pressure on them.
Right, and that's kind of the worry and why I made that comment earlier. It's, you know, you really do have to have that same intensity throughout, but Missouri State able to get on the board first. It's Shandy who was able to make up for it here, what he couldn't do in the last game. Yeah,
you see the pinch out and just barely missing there Sarge, but Shandy able to catch things out there from the mistake on that side wall. So now Missouri State opened things up here with the goal.
And I think that is so good for Missouri State, because they had some tough chances last game. Obviously, you think back to the Shandy miss, but also it felt like they really never had a lot of chances afterwards. They scored their 1 goal, and that was really it. It was all Nebraska from that point, but you're seeing now Missouri definitely do a lot better to keep possession, making Nebraska double commit, as you had just saw earlier, and unfortunately not able to capitalize there, but this is the type of control that I think Missouri State wants.
For Nebraska, they want, again, to just try to disrupt that as much as possible. As you see Sarge, he hasn't really been handling his card change too well. Proteus, I'm not seeing that many good touches from him. I don't know. I might have to talk to him later. There you go. He's starting to get a little bit of power behind it.
It's an underwater vehicle, Daz. I mean, that's the thing.
Very, very fair point. I heard it gives you bonus stats on Aquadome, but don't quote me.
It might. It might.
There's Chanos. Again, a great game 1. Looking to do it in game 2. Air double bump, and it almost went in. It'll roll out to the side as Chanos is continuing to open up chances, but that's going to roll all the way back downfield, and Nebraska are going to have to start over.
Man, oh man, Missouri State, you have got to challenge Chanos earlier. You can't let him have setups like that. That was so dangerous for the Missouri State defense, and Chanos just floating behind the ball. He got the bump. Just unlucky that both defenders are right on top of each other. And now Missouri State giving way to Chanos again. This shot's on target. Double commit comes out, and Nebraska might have a chance here to find the equalizer.
Things are looking good for Nebraska. They have the possession, and they're trying to continue to hold on to it. We're approaching the bottom half of game 2. Missouri State are struggling to hold on to a 1-goal lead. Pressure out, pass, no, blocked out. That was a triple commit from Missouri State. Sarge will try to keep this in, but oh no, Sarge will keep it in. A 1v1 play. And the Proteus gets demo.
But, something that I want to point out that Chanos is doing so well is, of course, when he's behind the ball, he's got great shooting. But even more so is that he doesn't have that opportunity. He's putting that ball in an awkward spot. It's some great touches from Chanos that's forcing those double and triple commits that you're seeing from the defense of Missouri State. And sure, that might be a little undisciplined defense, but they feel like they have to go for those challenges and they have to send more players because of how awkward those touches are from Chanos.
Chanos again coming up here and fight the game. Wait, he's going off the ceiling. He really wants this challenge.
Hello.
He got the challenge. And then will this actually end up helping out Nebraska? Gets a demo in the backfield as well, but no. Shandy on top. Shandy with the follow-up off the back wall, but no follow-up again because of the demo Chanos got earlier. So it will still remain a 1-0 game. Sarge can't find the double either, and this one's going back and forth.
Oh, it was set up for Sarge too. Oh, they wanted the mind game on Chanos. I don't think that's going to happen. 26 boosts for Chanos here. He's going to have to pick up the 100 and maybe find the ceiling. Couldn't get back to it. Sarge, that's a great pass over to Agro, but a good challenge by Shandy. He's got some space here. He's going to take a shot on target.
Woo!
Off the crossbar again for Shandy, and unfortunately just can't get it under. Still the attack on for Missouri State, but Nebraska's back now, and they're able to slow things down.
And that goal could have sealed the deal for this game. And although it was close, it was just not enough. So now it's looking like this could be a 1-goal game. We'll see if Nebraska have anything else in their back pocket. Agro with a fake challenge, but with a double commit. OTO, no, Chanos will get there before the demo, keeping that in the blue half as Nebraska are trying to turn things around here in the final 20 seconds. But Missouri want to close this out. Ball on their end. They're doing everything they possibly can, but Nebraska still keep knocking. We're in the midfield. Sarge, nah, he's not going to get a piece of that. Agro plays it off to the side. It's up to Agro. Gets past him. Sarge maybe could be able to salvage this play. Chanos across downfield. No one there. And the ball's going to hit the ground. Missouri tie up the series.
Whew, and I think Missouri State can breathe a sigh of relief with that match, especially the ending of that game, rather, is they were forced to make a couple of tough saves. And Nebraska definitely had their chances here in this game to tie things up. You're seeing, again, the majority of the shots going to Chanos, this time not able to convert. And, look, I think he had some great opportunity here, so you really can't blame him too much. But, again, that Missouri State defense holding on just enough for that 1-0 victory here. And I think they could be happy that they won this game. It wasn't pretty. They're able to tie up the series. But, again, it got a little scrappy in that game too, and I think for Missouri State, if you're going to win out this series, it's got to be a bit cleaner. You got to keep tabs on Chanos. You certainly can't let him behind the ball for too long. You see what he can do with it, and I think that's really the biggest threat for Missouri State right now.
So with game 3 underway and the series tied up, Missouri State have definitely shown that they can take things, but hold on. The guy keeps scoring. It's Chanos coming up again for Nebraska.
Oh, and this time gets him with the flip, too. This ball just out of reach. Shandy thought he had some time, but he didn't have enough. And Chanos with a great flip into it. And a 1-0 lead now in the first 9 seconds for Nebraska.
What a turnaround here for Nebraska. Able to get on the board very early. And now puts things in the eyes of Missouri State. Can they respond? They can hit the ball off the backboard. So now it's going to be Agro pushing this downfield. Tries to get a soft touch to play it around the defense. Chanos comes up, a lot of speed there, but nothing really doing. It gets played off the backboard and cleared out. Been quite the interesting start for both these two squads. As we got the earliest goal we've seen scored all season, and we're seeing Nebraska get more physical.
That's a good touch from Chanos. Unfortunately, no one else is there from his team to follow up. Sarge initially had gotten the bump on Shandy. Shandy's still trying to follow this one up, and Nebraska's offense don't have much after that. Chanos went for the bump on Paro. Didn't get the demo, though. I think he wanted the demo. He chased him deep into that net and didn't get it. And unfortunately, Paro was still able to make the touch. But Nebraska still trying to knock at the door. It will be eventually cleared out by Missouri State.
Missouri State playing very slowly downfield, just a little bit more methodical, looking for a way through. Aggro, whew, very dangerous with that touch, almost own goal, but gives it to Sarge. Now Aggro wants to keep this in play. High ball. Ochio goes up, misses. Demo in front of the net. Chanos a little late as Pero was able to recover in time.
Ooh, Sarge, good idea to pass that one down to Aggro, a bit too high. Missouri State feeling a lot of pressure right now. Nebraska doing a great job of shutting down the sidelines. It's really going to take that 1-2 touch downfield, finding that man for your outlet for Missouri State to break this at the moment. And they're really not finding a lot. It's just these lofted clears towards the midfield. Nebraska finally overcommit. Shandy finds a bit of space here. But the offense for Missouri State still might have a chance here to go. This is now dangerous. Shandy, can he get around to it? And Chanos there to clear things away.
So now Nebraska. No, they do not get a chance to set up. That one pitched all the way downfield. As Missouri State, Pero bringing this one up. Play it off the box. Infield pass between Nebraska as they try to move upfield. But that cutout, you can see Missouri State not giving them any time. Ochio, no, not enough boost maybe. Miss, flick from Pero. Does he have a follow-up? No. A close chance once again for Missouri State gone by.
Oh, great passing, though, but Paro didn't get it over to anyone. And Missouri State, those were a couple of big chances that they finally got afforded, and Chanos gets the shot, and just like that, it's a 2-goal lead now for Nebraska.
And Chanos with space keeps scoring. He goes into the air on this with 23 boosts. Uses that to get a piece of the ball and a piece of the defender. And again, lighting up the scoreboard once again, shooting 2 for 2 for Nebraska is Chanos. And we have hit the 2-minute mark here. Missouri State have failed to get on the board, and Nebraska have increased their lead.
Oh, yeah. This is looking good for Nebraska now, especially after feeling a lot of pressure from Missouri State. It just feels like Missouri, with the amount of pressure they had in the couple final minutes, that's the second shot of the game for them right there. They've had some dangerous chances to at least have that shot, but it's never come. Maybe another one as it's shut down by Chanos. Good demo by Sarge. Can Aggro maybe put this game out of reach as Ochio has to make the save? And Missouri State definitely in some dire need of some goals here because they're just not dropping for them right now.
We'll see. I mean, the time on the clock here, they'd have to get one in this drive, buy them some time. But it doesn't seem like they're on the same page. Double commit there on the back wall, and now they have to retreat. This is going to give Nebraska time and space, as all they have to do is keep this in front. Look at that aggressive challenge from Chanos. And Sarge looking to get on the ball too, forcing Ochio to knock it away. But that's exactly what Nebraska want. Missouri State to feel like they don't have control. They're just playing it past an individual. While the rotations are out, Chanos shoots in. That's going to be the hat trick. 3 for 3. What a goal.
And it's taken the whole game, but feeling Nebraska now finding that space in the Missouri State box. Everyone committed out to the right side. And Nebraska does well to stay in shape. And a great attack by Nebraska here. Of course, Chanos as the finisher, and I think that's your guy that you want behind the ball for Nebraska. Maybe another one here as Paro has to clear it away. But this has been a tough game for Missouri State. And if they don't get one here in the next 10 seconds or so, you can kiss this one goodbye.
There's another shot. Chanos, and again. I think Missouri State can kiss this one goodbye.
Absolutely. 4 for 4 now for Chanos. And this has been another great game and a good performance by him. But I think Nebraska just look a bit more cohesive downfield. And maybe it's just because Chanos is such a bright light and kind of brings everyone up. But I do think that Sarge and Aggro really bring a sense of stability to this team that allows Chanos to do these types of plays and to allow Chanos to have those closing shots, right? It's not like Chanos is running around here 1v3ing the other team. He's got a lot of support in his teammates that are doing a great job of setting him up for success, or at least putting the ball in the right spot for him to go chase after. And I think that's where Nebraska's really finding a lot of success in this series.
And they look to see if they can close it out too. How far does the success go? Sarge scores here. I think that's the first time someone not named Chanos or Nebraska has scored this series. And Nebraska, though, pushing this one to match point. And Missouri State need to find an answer here really soon.
Yeah, and again, I think it does come down to that cohesion comment that I have, because it doesn't feel like Missouri State are on the same page on the defensive side of things and on the offensive side of things. Yep. It gets a little dicey on the defensive side of things, where it's like, I don't know where I'm going. We're double committing left and right. But then even on offense, it's 1-2 touches in the final third, maybe a good pass, but the shot never comes, or that extra pass goes too far, or there's just nobody there. The ideas are, I think, thought about, like it pops into their head, but there's no one there to complete it, right? There's no one there to convert whatever that idea is. And for Missouri State, it just feels disorganized on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, disorganized is a good term. For me, the touches are something that's really been standing out. I feel like Missouri State, when they play the ball, you know, they're touching to get past just one person. That's going to be a good start, though. Shandy getting on the board here really early. This might be exactly what they need to kind of shake off that last game.
Yeah, it's a tough kickoff there for Chanos. That one pops right up over his head, but not far enough away from that oncoming player from Missouri State to get to your back player on the Nebraska side of things. And unfortunately for him, Chanos, it drops right in front of Shandy, and a great 1-0 lead here, start rather, for Missouri State.
And I want to go back to this comment, though, really quickly, because I do think it's important. This really has something to do with confidence. As we do see a double commit on the play there. Ochio will try to follow up. That's a really good angle. And a great stop. Shandy will take a turn at it, and Chanos will make things on the defense. But look at the difference here. The confidence has been brought up here for Missouri State. Not necessarily a lot of pass plays and cohesions, but the follow-ups and the rotations are looking a lot better. And I think that's going to be a big difference for them if they can keep that momentum going.
I mean, absolutely. There in the first 30 seconds, the big thing is, can you keep that confidence going now throughout the entirety of this series? Well, yeah, the series, but also in this game, now that your back's against the wall here against Nebraska. That will be the big telling point here for Missouri. Can you keep finding these chances? Because that was the biggest thing and the biggest problem that Missouri State had in the previous game, where they didn't generate a lot of dangerous chances, and they also just didn't keep the ball in the final third as well as they feel like they should have.
On the other side of things, you talk about if they can keep generating. How much can Chanos generate in the course of the series? So we're 4 games in now, and he's really been the main scorer for this Nebraska squad. What happens if he starts missing the mark? You see Perro, he's starting to find it, though. Chanos making a goal line save here, as they are still keeping this a 1-goal game for now.
Still no follow-up from Missouri State with that ball popping out, and I think Nebraska are happy to see it. That's a big clear from the Missouri State side, and maybe set something up. Paro shot into the top right corner, and Missouri State are looking better and better here in this series.
And this was just a matter of time. A lot of pressure coming out from Missouri State. Perro finds it, top corner shot. They blocked so many, but they couldn't stop that one. Now we see a 2-goal lead for Missouri State, and this is the adjustment that we wanted to see.
And again, it does come down to holding on to this lead, continually generating these chances that you're seeing from Missouri State. They might get another one here off the back wall again. Ochio a bit too far back as he could catch back up to it. Still, this ball dangerous. Now thrown downfield by Agro, and it's Shandy who's got to make a save on the other side. Here comes Chanos to punish the defense. Missouri State gave it up, and the lead cut in half.
And a double commit on offense. Shandy in a tough spot. Look at that. Chanos immediately sees that opportunity and lets it sink in. Nebraska say, we don't care if you have a 2-goal lead. If you're going to mess up on offense and defense, we will punish you for it.
This is good for Nebraska to at least capitalize on a huge mistake from Missouri State. Felt like Missouri State really should have scored, and it just got flipped on its head, that entire attack. and down the field Nebraska go. And you're seeing, though, Daz, like you said, the confidence, but even just the gameplay now as we approach halftime here in this game. You're seeing what it does to players like Chanos. He can't just carry the entire game, and when he's stuck on defense, he really blends in with the rest of his squad and doesn't stick out as much as he did earlier on in this series, and that's where I think Missouri State are really going to win this series, is hanging on to these leads, the constant pressure that they're able to generate, and it shuts down a lot of the spotlight that we've put on Chanos.
Yes. It has definitely like shut down that kind of spotlight. We're definitely not saying the name as much either. And that's because, again, look at Nebraska, so many limited opportunities, right? Only got 2 shots total for Nebraska. They finally are able to move downfield, and only for a moment as it gets sent over to the sidewall. Missouri State have to be able to hold on here during at least this next minute or so if they want to have a chance. That rolls in front of the box. Dangerous, but Nebraska has remained firm once again as they are able to clear this to the wall.
Missouri State definitely knocking on the board. Oxio's there, and Shandy couldn't play it across. Chanos, good touch, cleared away. Here comes Paro again, gets the bump on Sarge, and again, just can't get it back down to the man in the box. Great setups, though, by Missouri State, just missing that final touch, that conversion that we've been asking for them here, and they're just barely able to hang on to this 1-goal lead.
They've been able to do so for a decent amount of time. But this is where things get tense. Here we go. Final minute. Ball played out. Miss over to the side. Pero gets dunked. Shandy will try to keep this in play, but here's Nebraska looking for a response. Chanos back by himself. Struggling to get to this ball. Will be able to force a challenge here. As Missouri continue to hold this one on Nebraska's end. They're trying to do so for the final 30 seconds here, Corelli, but all it takes is one mistake, and we've seen Nebraska get on top of this.
And all it takes is one mistake, or 1 goal rather, for Missouri State to just shut down this Nebraska team. 20 seconds left now, and Missouri State knocking on the door once again, but a bit clear from Agro might set things up for Nebraska.
Pero playing this one. There's a demo. Agro looking for another demo, gets a bump on Shandy. Here's Chanos, a whiff on the ball. Sarge plays it up, looking for the double. It bounces off the post. Agro can't get it. Sarge keeps it up. Chanos on the sidewall, looks to play it to the side. Has Agro mid playing harassment on the last defender, but it is cleared out. No one able to get the ball, and Missouri State have forced a game 5.
And I think this is the type of gameplay that, we expected from Missouri State coming in to this matchup. I know it's just a 1-goal game, but I truly believe this should have been a 3 or 4 goal margin here for Missouri State. They just didn't convert on a lot of the chances they were able to generate. But the important part is they were able to show those chances and were able to be dangerous multiple times here in this game. It's just that final shot that they didn't get, and that was the biggest difference maker for keeping this game so close. Nebraska were shut down in this game. Obviously, Chanos was. We didn't say his name a lot, and we just didn't see a lot of offense from Nebraska. The 1 goal they got was really more of a mistake on Missouri State. That counterattack shouldn't have even happened. It should have been Missouri State scoring earlier before that. So, again, if Missouri State can keep this up in the way they played this last game, come into this game and convert even half the chances that they had last time, they'll definitely be able to take this series.
So here we go. Missouri State able to battle things back, hold off Chanos and the rest of Nebraska. A team that has definitely shown some real good offensive strides. But it all comes down to this game 5. Is Nebraska has opened up the series and again stunned this Missouri State squad, who has slowly been adapting as the series goes on. But we will see, as the first minute has been mainly just a battle for control. Chanos is able to get up quickly, but not able to get a shot just a little bit too quickly and sacrifice accuracy for the speed.
You're not seeing that quick gung-ho opportunity and offense that we saw earlier in the last game from Missouri State. And I think Nebraska, it really was on them to change things up. Of course, it's only the first minute here, but we're really seeing more of a battle for midfield rather than on either side of the field. And that's kind of telling me how these teams are approaching this game. They know there's a lot of pressure. Nobody wants to overcommit on offense, so they stay a bit back, but nobody wants to play too far back, so they push up just a little bit off their line to make sure that that midfield is still contested.
Oh, demo here. Now we're going to see Nebraska try to move upfield. Aggro will force a challenge. Good touch, but Shandy will get there first. And Sarge tried to force a 50. A lot of challenges happening in front, but here's Channels. Solo play opportunity. Gets the carry. Does he want it? Tries it, he pushes it through! Channels strikes first for Nebraska!
Time and space for Channels, uncontested all the way up until he gets inside the box of Missouri State. And how many times have we said it, Das? You can't let this man have so much time. You can't let this man have so much space. And he takes advantage once again.
Unbelievable. He has continued to perform over the course of this series, even down to the Game 5. And he is a force to be reckoned with, and a force that we have not seen Missouri find an answer for. They're going to need to find one in the next 3 minutes or so. They are in trouble.
While they certainly are down in goal here, they have a lot of time. But you do get a little bit scared when you're not seeing the same type of offense from Missouri State. You're coming closer and closer to halftime, not a single shot generated. Now, granted, Nebraska only have 2, but they're shooting 50% at the moment. So for Missouri State, you really have to start thinking about generating some sort of offense here. And again, you're even seeing the miscommunications there in the midfield. 2 players going for the same ball, and not a lot of opportunity coming for Missouri.
And this one could definitely get out of hand if Missouri don't get things together. Again, seeing just some signs there of, again, like you said, the double commits, the miscommunication. They have to get it under control. Meanwhile, Aggro pushes downfield. Chanos will take it off the sidewall, but not the best recovery. He still gets it past. Won't be able to find a double. Aggro will keep it in play as Nebraska are still getting away with some very flamboyant plays. A lot of time there. Aggro tried to put a shot on, but Pero was able to make the stop.
Yeah, it got a little scary. I think it was Pero who backflipped in the net and gave up that space. And Chanos didn't decide to go because he saw Pero there, but didn't recognize the backflip quick enough to jump
Oh,
my goodness, Shandy with the fake, and that's how you tie it up for Missouri State.
Oh, look at this. Shandy pulling up with the ball. Toodaloo. And the flick up. And here we go. This Game 5 is wide open. 1:38 here between Missouri State and Nebraska, as we are seeing solo plays galore, and for good reason.
Nebraska still trying to find that offense here. You definitely look towards Chanos, of course, to clutch up for him. But look at this, cutting out. Agro's going to make a save on the goal line. Still power there. Shandy, can he get around to it? Sarge with a great clear for Nebraska. Things got real scary for them, and they're able to get out of it, at least for now.
Now Missouri State on the push. Nebraska giving them a lot of room here, but Sarge will be able to buy the team some time. We're approaching the final minute here, but wait, that's a double commit from Nebraska. Chanos has to leave that one. Ochio will be able to clear this out by a lot of time. This ball is moving back and forth here. Chanos gonna be out to play for a minute. Aggro needs to come up big on the challenge. Ochio plays a pass, but no touch on that one, and it'll just float into the corner.
Oh, that one hurts to watch, but still very dangerous here for Shandy. Oh, good fake there. As the pass comes out, Shandy has Ochio on the other side. The shot went off of Chanos, excuse me. Shandy tried to keep it alive. Here's Paro now. He can't get back to it. 0 boost for him, and just thrown downfield for Nebraska. Less than 20 seconds left. Overtime looming in Game 5.
Shot low, Sarge able to make a save. Ochio comes up, Chanos with the block. Does he have enough boost to force a 50? Can't get it past Shandy. No one can. Ball hit across. Will Chanos keep it up? Looking to make the play, but will not be able to follow that one up. Pero doesn't want to kill this either as he plays this one out in the midfield. It will hit the ground though, and of course, the Game 5 goes to overtime.
Of course it does, and one goal will separate these two teams here in this overtime, and I think it's very fitting when you look at their records. Shandy's going to put it away from Missouri State. 6 seconds of overtime, and it's all over for Nebraska. 3-2 win for the blue side.
Pero to Shandy, top corner, bang. A lot of speed behind that ball. Missouri State make it quick. They finish it in overtime. They forced the game 5. And when it came down to it, they executed. Shandy shot 2 for 2 that series. Nebraska put up a tough fight. But at the end, they just couldn't get it done when that OT started.
Wow. And what a series for both these teams. And I think that's a tough loss there for Nebraska. We had asked, or I had said at least, for Missouri State, if you really can go toe-and-toe with those big dogs and you lose 2-3 to teams like UNT, well, you better beat teams like Nebraska. And it was very close, but you got to give some props to the Nebraska side. They looked very good against this Missouri State times. At times, I think they looked better than Missouri State for the majority of this series. But unfortunately, I think Missouri State started to claw their way back into it. They got a bit more organized. It was still a little confusion there in the midfield for them, but Missouri State looked better near the end, and a 6-second overtime is exactly what you want if you're going to win it. And just like that, a 3-2 win for them.
Again, I said this at the beginning of the series, and I'll say it now. It comes down to potential, and we saw Nebraska's potential throughout that series. Channels played out of his mind, and so did the rest of the team in terms of supporting him as well. And you also saw Missouri State having to deal with that, having to address that, and I feel like they were able to handle it as well as I would have expected them to.
Yeah, No, we'll see how these teams do. Again, these guys are kind of at the bottom here in league play, but closing out strong here for league play is exactly what you want, and Missouri State get the job done and go over Nebraska.
Yeah, they get the job done, and that's going to be our second series, too, for the night. We still have 3 more matches to go, so plenty more CRL coming up on your screen. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back.